Another one of these interesting things we can do is normalization, and that's making something nouny in a more, to give you more comprehensive definition. Um, it's to make something that sound fancy. We take a word that isn't a noun, so it's going to be a different word class, and it is commonly a verb, an adjective, or an adverb, um, as a noun or as the head of a noun phrase. So I reflected. Reflected is a verb, but we've changed the sentence and put a noun phrase at the head of the sentence. Upon reflection, reflection has become a noun. So it's taking words and making them nouny to make them sound fancy. As you can imagine, this is associated with formal register more commonly. So look at sentence structures and sentence types. So simple sentences are exactly as they sound. They only have one coordinate clause. As an example, I like dogs. So it will be a standard subject, verb, object sort of structure. I, me, the subject, like, verb, like what, object, dogs. Now, a compound sentence will have two parts to it. So you can even imagine it as subject, verb, object plus subject, verb, object. Two coordinate clauses. I like dogs is one. Then there's but. And I don't like cats is the second clause. When we look at complex sentences, they have one coordinate clause and one subordinate clause. Basically, you can view a subordinate clause as an incomplete clause. I like dogs is our coordinate clause because they are affectionate. So this is just they, which is our subject, the dogs, is just making a reference back to that, and are affectionate, just a verb. Okay, subject, verb, object, subject, verb in a nutshell. So that's a subordinate clause. A compound complex sentence is like a combination of these two, and it takes two coordinate clauses and one subordinate clause. I like dogs, one coordinate clause, but I don't like cats, a second coordinate clause, because they are not affectionate. That's our subordinate clause. Hopefully, it's easier to understand this when the example is like sort of repeating. And then we've got sentence fragments, which are just non-standard incomplete units. So if we take yeah the other day, does that have a subject or a verb? Not really. It just mentions the other day as an object. There's nothing carrying out an action or doing some kind of action or something that the sentence is indicating towards. And it's also very short. Sentence fragments are usually very short. So look for that subject, verb, object structure and break sentences into those. And that way you'll be able to identify coordinate, subordinate clauses and decide what type of sentence structure something is. Oh, sorry. I just realized it's going to get stuck on making each thing pop up. We'll look at sentence types, not to be confused with sentence structures. Okay. So, a declarative sentence acts as a statement. It just states something. These are probably the most common. I like dogs. That's a declaration, a statement. An interrogative sentence poses a question. For example, do you like dogs? Imperative sentences give a command. For example, you must pat my dog. You need to do this, okay? And exclamative sentences are like an outburst. Dogs are awesome. That should all be very nice and easy to understand, and it will probably be easier to identify than sentence structures.